6:33 is the time right now. D.C. home rule has been a hot topic ever since President Trump made these comments last Wednesday.
We should govern D.C. I think the federal government should take over the governance of D.C. and run it really properly.
The federal government did have control 50+ years ago, but district leaders say they'll fight to keep it. Some district neighbors are holding a meeting today to talk through the impact of the president's plans. Jess Arnold joins us now live from the Tinley Friendship Library, where that meeting will be held. And Jess, this group is trying to rally neighbors to take action.
Yeah, that's right, Wisdom. They're called Free DC, and they're holding meetings ward by ward, encouraging neighbors to stand up for DC self-governance. Now, tonight's meeting is going to be happening here behind me at the Tinley Friendship Library. That's from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And this one is specifically focusing on Ward 3. As I mentioned, they do have them throughout all of the wards. We will have that information available for you online. Now, before that, a little bit later today at noon, Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton is going to be participating in a discussion about home rule following the president's remarks and talking about how all of this will impact you. Now, she did release a statement last Thursday after the president made those remarks that you heard Wisdom share there. Now, her statement said, in part, these types of remarks are attempts to remove what small measure of democracy the more than 700,000 D.C. residents, a majority of whom are black and brown, have. And she pointed out that D.C.'s population is larger than that of 2 states. D.C. pays more federal taxes per capita than any state, and that the district's GDP is larger than that of 15 states. This is what the mayor had to say last week.
Of course it's frustrating, and we think it's also wrong. It makes people in our community anxious. It makes our policymakers anxious, our businesses anxious, and that's just an unnecessary distraction.
So what would it actually mean for you, a D.C. resident, if Congress repealed home rule? Well, first, the mayor, the D.C. council, the attorney general, they would all be out of a job. The city's finances could be in trouble without its chief financial officer and ability to borrow money for local improvements like updating schools. Of course, there would likely have to be an alternative type of local government set up, but the architects of this congressional repeal have not released any specifics on what that could look like. So right now, that's all in flux. Now, Congresswoman Norton continues to lobby to make D.C. the 51st state. She again introduced that measure into this Congress. On the opposite end, many Republicans are fighting to repeal home rule, as we mentioned. Now, they do have the majority in the House and the Senate, so if they get everyone on board, theoretically, they could do that, and then we'll have to see what that fallout entails and what their alternative to D.C.'s local government as it stands would be in terms of these meetings. Again, the one happening here tonight starts at 6:30, and then we'll share the Zoom link for the one happening with Congresswoman Norton at noon. Guys.
All right, home rule been in existence since 1973. That's when Congress passed that law. Jess Arnold, thank you very much.